A few years ago, my cholesterol and blood pressure were higher than it should have been. So much so that I got a bit concerned and I decided that I wanted to do something different with my diet to try to get the numbers down. At the same time, my daughter Gina had just started eating raw foods, and about 30 days into it, she was literally glowing. So I asked her if there was a book that she would recommend to me to read, and she did. She gave me Victoria Botenko's Green for Life. Now, the Green for Life book isn't about eating raw foods, but it's about eating green smoothies or drinking green smoothies. So I read the book, and it's about Victoria trying to find a way to eat healthier. And she does her research, and it led her to looking at the diets of animals in the wild that are closest to human beings, which are apes and chimpanzees. And she found out that 50% of their diets was fruit and 40% was green leafy vegetables. The fruit was easy to get, but how do you get 40% of your diet green leafy vegetables? So she experimented around and came up with the idea of blending the greens, putting spinach or kale and lettuce into a blender, but it came out tasting kind of nasty. And she decided to add fruit to it, and she did that, and lo and behold, the taste of the greens was gone, and it actually tasted good. So she labeled her new drink Green Smoothies and wrote a book about it. So I started making green smoothies a couple of years ago, and the great thing about that was that not only it gave me all this nutritious food, I started feeling better, and even more than that, it took away, I noticed that I stopped wanting or craving junk food as much as I used to. So if anyone is considering changing their diet or making an improvement in their diet, if you were to ask me what is one thing that you can do to really change it and improve and not be too painful, actually this isn't painful at all, I would suggest that you start with a green smoothie for breakfast. So I'm going to show you now how I make my green smoothies. Okay, when I make my green smoothies, I try to pay attention to proper food combining. So for me, I use mostly berries and fruit that goes with it, which would be oranges and pineapple. And so I start with goji berries. I put the goji berries in my blender ahead of time for maybe a half hour and let them soak because they come dried. Goji berries are one of the best berries for Chinese medicine. So I begin with about 2 handfuls of goji berries, put them in the blender, let them soak a little bit. Now you don't have to use goji berries. I just think it's a little extra thing. It's better, they're good, you know. Blueberries, strawberries, any kind of berries are probably ideal. But you can get goji berries at Whole Foods, something like that, or online, they're pretty cheap, Natural Zing. So 2 handfuls of goji berries, a little water, maybe half a cup of water in the blender. And then I've fresh juiced 2 oranges this morning. Pour that in there. And about some pineapple, 5 or 6 chunks of pineapple. Put them in. Give it a blend. Okay, I've got that done, and I'm going to put my greens in. I use a handful or more. I would start light to begin with. Maybe a couple, about this much of spinach. This is kale, romaine lettuce, collard greens. Put that in. Okay, now I'm gonna put in my blueberries. Put in about 2 or 3 handfuls of frozen blueberries. And that's it. The last thing I put in was strawberries. So this makes about a quart. I don't eat my breakfast, this is for breakfast, I don't eat my breakfast until about 10 o'clock. I think it's a good idea to let your body digest its food from the previous day. So if you don't feel like eating and you're not hungry, and if you can make it till 9 or 10 in the morning, it's a good time to have your breakfast. So I'll have this around 10, and even though it doesn't look like a lot, it satisfies me till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'll have my lunch. And just so you know, after it probably took about 2 months for my blood pressure and numbers to go down to normal, and it stayed that way ever since.